Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X NGR Radio's Xbox podcast. And as always, we throw up the X because we're about to throw down, definitely with some of the good news that we got today. But joining me on this episode, as always, is my wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
I'm gonna just keep on doing that now. It works too well.
You just get a good nap out of you. And as always, it's my boss man, my heart, my love, my go-to guy. He does everything, Mr. Corey Dirrig.
I'm here.
Corey.
I'm here. I'm awake. Can you see the staples in my eyelids outside? Oh man. I'm here.
Yes. So how you guys doing? I know there's a particular thing on news that we're going to get to. So just Corey, hold your excitement.
I can't. You know I can't.
No, I know. Jesse, okay, so the way that I'm looking at the screen, it looked like your beard, Jesse, is matching your shirt. Like you dyed your beard green to match your shirt.
He did. Can you see?
It's probably just because it's graying. It's getting closer to this color.
Oh, wow. How'd you guys?
I found some gray hairs in my beard and my hair the other day, and I was like, sad.
Like
I've had some in my hair for like years. Like a long time.
I'm good. I want to keep my hair black. So let's get into what's been in our arsenal. Corey, I'm actually going to start with you. What's been in your arsenal, dude?
Oh, well, I've been installing Quantum Break for what feels like 4 days now. I got it this week, and I have been trying to figure out, like, when am I going to play this? I want to play this for Arsenal X this week, so I put it in Thursday and installed it, right? It installed right away. But then there's like a 45 gig patch because they don't keep the videos on the disc. So, like, I had to download all the video files, which is like 41 and a half gigs, I think.
Oh.
And then, so, like, I've been playing other things. And today I wanted to play it, but we ended up babysitting my nephews for a little while today. So, I didn't get to play it yet. It's one of those games that I've really wanted to play for a while, but I'll probably report back on it next week. But, let's see.
Yeah, I think I need to reinstall it in my my Xbox One because I want to play it too. I need to play it too.
Yeah, but I played some Gears of War 4 multiplayer last night, and man, that game, I wish, like, there weren't so many games coming out and so many things that I want to play coming out, because Gears of War, if, like, I wasn't doing podcasting or, like, paying attention to the games that were coming out or whatever, like, Gears of War would probably be my multiplayer game of choice, and to just sit and play every night. You know, like, kind of like comfort food style multiplayer stuff. Yeah. It's just so fun, man. I usually jump into the ranked playlist, but I jumped into the social one, and just getting into a match after match after match after match and not really worrying about what game mode we were playing or, like, who was on my team or, you know, trying out different weapons and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is amazing. This is so much fun. So
you just went in there by yourself, like you didn't know nobody.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't know anybody. And then I started playing Doom on Switch, but I'll save that discussion for Pal Block. So I haven't really been playing a lot this week. It's just been a busy week, man. And I babysat twice, and I'm trying to get the NGR Radio store up and running. and there's a few things up there right now, but I hope that by the time this episode goes up, everything will be up and ready to go. And the first few, probably like 10 or 12 designs will be up there. So it's kind of really all I've been doing. I haven't really gamed much this week, which sucks because like that's really all I ever want to do. Is play video games.
Right. So, Jesse, before I get to you, I'm gonna is it okay if I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're supposed to tell him no.
I love Jesse. That's my dude. I can't wait to come up to Wisconsin. I don't have to make a trip to come up to come see Jesse.
I do have something to say though.
Go ahead.
It's not really like I haven't been playing anything, but I will be going to PAX East in April.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So I am excited for that. So NGR Radio in some form will be at PAX East, and I'm really excited.
I'm so jealous.
I'm road tripping with my friend Joey, friend of NGR, on some of our shows sometimes when he's not Final Fantasy rating. I know he's not listening to this podcast, but he listens to NGR, and I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him this week. I'm gonna be like, Joey, you need to play. You need to come on our shows because I miss Joey so much. Even though I see him like 4 times a week at work, but yeah, me, him, our friend Mitch, and his brother are all going to PAX. So I'm so excited, dude. I haven't been to PAX since like 2010.
What?
Yeah,
I've never been at all.
Oh man, dude, the last time I went was, I think the big games were Crackdown 2 and Halo Reach. I think were the 2 big games.
Wow.
There. And
Yikes.
me and my friends that I went with, we were on G4 playing competitive Crackdown 2. It was weird. It was really weird. And then they interviewed me, but it never aired on the show. But
wow,
it was cool though.
I think my friends from goodness, I can't think of their podcast. Some of my city friends here, Simon's Cake podcast. Sorry about that, guys. I think they're going next year. So I might actually have to ask them, just like, how are you guys planning? Do you need an extra person? Like, how much do I need to save to spend and stuff like that?
I think our tickets were like, after fees and processing and shipping the badges out to our houses, we're going Thursday and Friday, and a 2-day ticket costs like $112. It's $53 a day. Or you can buy like a whole weekend pass, which is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for like $150 or something. I don't know.
Well, that's not bad.
No.
Usually packs sell out. So
yeah, that's why they bought their tickets before they got to work, and they texted me while I was at work, and like they were like, PAX tickets went on sale today. We're buying them. I'm like, no, they're gonna be sold out by the time I get off work. So I like scrambled to text someone and be like, can you buy these tickets for me real quick and I'll pay you back when I get off work, please? Thanks.
Nice. So yes. I am going to I told Corey that I am going to plan on going with him to PAX next time. Like even me and Larry want to go to PAX. Like, I really want to go to PAX.
Well, I'm trying to
get one of my goals.
I'm trying to get a panel at OhioCon next year.
Yeah, and I need to find out what that is, because I'll take days off and I'll come up for that.
Yeah, it's usually at the University of Akron, which is like 15 minutes from where I live. And like every year, man, it comes and goes, and I'm like, man, I forgot, because like it's not that expensive to get a panel there, and it's really not that expensive to get a table there. It's like, I think for the weekend it's like $100 for a table, and then if you want to do like a live panel or something, it's like it might be $300 at the most, unless you're sponsored, and then like it's free if you're sponsored, but we're not sponsored, so
right. We sponsor ourselves.
Yeah. I'm not wearing this 12-year-old t-shirt for nothing.
NGR Radio is sponsored by multiple things. Naruto, Monster, Lego
Jock straps.
Dimension.
Jock straps. Yeah.
Jock
The
straps.
official
Yes.
podcast of Jockstrap. Buy these
Yes.
jock straps at Dick's Sporting Goods. What?
Uh,
Too much? Okay.
no, that's about right. If there's a Dick's Sporting Good around, because ours closed.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Dick's Sporting Goods in a long time.
Wow. Well, before we get to Jesse, I like I said, I beat Halo 5 Guardians. Spent maybe 8 whole hours of my day off playing that game, like dying and just beating it. I was like, you know what, I need to finish half of this game off. Was really kind of surprised on how it ended. I think the ending could have been a little bit better, but I really enjoyed the game. Like, really had fun with it. So I got to figure out what I'm going to be playing next for it, because I kind of do want to get into Assassin's Creed Origins, but I'm waiting for you, Corey, to get it so I can start it on there, so we could talk more about that. So I'm going to be searching for a game. I was thinking of, I might do Battlefield Hardlines, because I got it for $5 at my job. So brand new copy and everything. So I might jump into that. Or I might jump into Return to Arkham and just play Arkham Knight and no, the first Arkham in Arkham City, Asylum City. So I might jump into that. You guys, when you check out Nintendo Power Block, I will actually get to show you my 2DS Pokemon that I picked up, and I also picked up Doom. I was going to be getting Little Dude 2, but it doesn't come out on sale until Tuesday. So by the time you guys see this, the game will be out. But I'm going to probably pick it up like that following week, the week of Black Friday. PlayStation 4, I've been playing Final Fantasy 12. The Zodiac Age, really need to finish that. So many people on Twitter and my friends have been playing it, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I really need to jump into this game. So I'll be working on that game for PlayStation. But Xbox One, I'm going to be finishing, finding something to start playing, is like finishing some stuff up. And then Dragon Quest 8. I'm still playing on my old 3DS. I haven't set up my new 2DS just yet, but I will be doing that because Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon comes out the week of this recording. So that's what's been in my arsenal. Jesse, what's been in your arsenal?
I ended up playing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before you go, I did do one more thing. I'm sorry. I played Gears of War 4 with my friend on his Xbox One. We literally co-op in the living room together. So we did like half of the whole campaign. Like
Nice.
yeah, we literally ended up on chapter 4. Like if I didn't have to go get my niece, we would have beat that game in one whole sitting. So
yeah, I need to start playing that again too. Like that's the thing is I in my list, like some things I've been playing lately, I picked up Wolfenstein: The New Order again, and I was playing that. So I'm trying to get back into some games that I haven't played in a while. And then like I did play Siege quite a bit, just because that's kind of my Gears of War 4 right now. Is I just love jumping into that game, and like the nice thing about it, like what makes me like when I play this game and I don't miss Call of Duty is like you have so many annoying people playing on the Call of Duty games, always saying stupid things all the time. Whereas with anytime I'm playing Siege, like sure you'll have, people that are just, act stupid or, do dumb things, but I almost always add like at least one or two people to my friends list because, like people talk and use mics on there all the time. And once you find someone to play with on there, people are really good on there about just adding people and then whenever you're online again, they want to, add you to group and stuff. So that's the one thing I like about that game is the community on it is really good. So that's why I think probably one of the main reasons why I always go back to that one right now. And then I did play The Division for like a little bit, but I butt kicked it. I just because I haven't played it in so long, and it's such a different style of playing than what I'm used to right now.
Yeah.
So I just I have to get used to it again. But I do want to pick that up again and play it. And I think part of the thing is too is I'm kind of in some of the areas where the guys like can take off a lot of your health with like one shot. So I just kind of having an issue with that and just need to get used to it again. And then I did play Dead Space again a little bit. The first one. I just love that game. Those games are so amazing. And like even though it's from the 360, that game, it still looks decent. Like the graphics wise, it still looks nice, which is is awesome. Because some of those older games, sometimes they just don't look that great. But I literally picked up Destiny 2 for like a whole 5 minutes. I went, I voted, in the Iron Banner thing. I was gonna try and play something. I'm like, man, this I'm done with this game. I just don't have any drive to play it anymore right now. I just like there's no reason for me to the people my friends that have it that play it, I don't think they really play it that much, so their characters probably still aren't leveled up. So I can't ever do any like nightfall raids or do any of the raids or whatever. So there's no reason to really play it. So I think I'm just pretty much done with it right now. And then before we started the show, I ended up finishing Max Curse of the Brotherhood, and that's probably like one of my favorite like smaller games. Like I mean it took quite a few hours to beat it, but it's just so much stuff in it that they do really well. Like I just like the whole idea of like using your marker thing where you draw like rocks, and you draw like vines, and like there's these things where you can draw the direction of where it's going to shoot like this fireball thing to take out like walls and bad guys and stuff. So like you don't actually attack anything yourself because you're just a little kid that's running around, but you have to manipulate the environment to help take out the bad guys. So you don't actually do anything like with the weapons or anything. It's because it is a kids game. It's a family friendly game.
Yes.
But like yeah, it's very reminiscent of when I played Braid, like where there's just some areas where I'm like just sitting there forever just thinking, how do I do this? Like how do I complete this to try to get to where I need to go? And like so some of the areas, there was a couple of them that really pushed your thinking into trying to figure out exactly what you got to combine to be able to get somewhere. And I was really impressed with the final boss battle. It was pretty funny and just kind of a little unique, and just the final boss, the whole like fight with the final boss was pretty fun and interesting. But it's definitely one of those games that I suggest if you want like a good like fun cinematic platformer where you've got really pretty looking graphics and things going on, but yet it's animated. It's not like trying to look realistic. It's more like like a really good animation. And definitely pick that up because I think it's only like $15 or something. And now now you can get it on PlayStation 4 too if people have a PS4 and don't have an Xbox. So
yeah, it's also on. I think it's also on Game Pass now too. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that I also beat Super Mario Odyssey. That challenge. Oh, that last challenge. So But I won't talk about the Transformers of last night because I'm not too drunk for that just yet. But we're going to get into some Arson news now.
Yes.
I'm gonna let Corey. I'm gonna let you actually talk about this one after I introduce it. So, it seems that the Atom, the Enchantress, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what?
Yes.
They're all coming to Injustice 2. The Atom will be hitting the Atom will be hitting in on December 2, but it blew people's mind. Like no one would guess it. So they're coming as the third season DLC. They each I guess will have separate days on when they'll be dropping. But yes, everybody's hyped that the Ninja Turtles is coming to Injustice 2. Now, Corey, before you say anything, for anybody who has not picked up Injustice 2, it's $30 at Toys R Us right now. So if you have not picked up the game, hey, there you guys can go get that and get season pass, and you'll be ready to go. But Corey, let us know. Go ahead, talk about it.
I don't know what you want me to talk about. I'm just excited. Dude, this is the first time I've been excited about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a video game since Super Nintendo, okay? This is like the greatest moment of my life, I think. Yeah, I got married last year, but this is still the greatest moment of my life. I don't care. Dude, that intro trailer was so awesome. Adam was fighting Enchantress. I guess that's who that was, right? I didn't know those characters were new. Like I didn't even care. And so they're fighting, and all of a sudden, like you see Adam zoom towards Enchantress, and then they're getting ready to like whatever, and all of a sudden you just see the sigh land in the cement, and you just see Raph walk down the alleyway in the trench coat and the hat from the first movie, and I was like, ah. and he was just like, that looks like fun. And then like you just see the other three turtles jump out behind him after he takes the trench coat off. I was just like, first off, I was like, how did they pull this deal off? Second, I was like, does WB have the rights to Ninja Turtles now? And if so, I'm like, give that to WB Montreal, please, because like, say what you will about Shadow of Wars, whatever, the gameplay looks fluid and fun, like you would want the Ninja Turtles to feel, and the Nemesis system with all the different villains of the Ninja Turtles. I'm like, and like, well, my excitement level for Injustice was like here, because like I was like, I want to play Injustice, but I don't want to spend $60 on Injustice. And now it's just like, I need Injustice in my hand yesterday. Like I just like I need it, right? And like I don't know if there's like a release date or anything for the Turtles or not yet, but like the day that DLC comes out, I'm gonna be like, boop 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 boop, Injustice. Boom.
So, Corey, it's $30 at Toys R Us. Go get your copy.
See, Ed, I have to buy gifts for lots of people this year, so like everything I'm buying is on hold except for Xenoblade. So it's like on a pause. It's on a pause.
I'll just say
that and PAX. I had decided to do that instead of buy games. So yeah, but
actually, to answer your question, I think it's a Nickelodeon property right now, but I think that's just only for the cartoons. As for the licensing, I don't know, because they have I think a crossover issue with Batman. I know, Jesse, I think you posted that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if that
the IWD.
IWD, okay.
Because
I don't know if that one was current. I remember seeing that cover, but I don't know when it was done. So whatever WB did to get that license for them to guest star, because I think it was Game Informer. It was someone talking about it on the podcast. It's just like, it's weird that they were able to get this because like Freddy and Jason was like in Mortal Kombat, I think 9 or 10. like how they was able to get other properties in that game. So to see the Ninja Turtles come to this, like, wow. But Jesse, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm excited. I had posted it in our thing, and then didn't I didn't even think about putting it on the page. I just knew that that Corey would be excited about it. So, but I see that he ended up posting it. So,
did you see how
all
good
good.
they looked? Did you see
Yeah.
how great they look?
Yeah.
Did you
Dude,
see
as-
that Injustice is running on Unreal Engine 4? Did you
As
see
much
that I
as
could
we
be
talk
playing that
about-
on the
as
go
much
on
as
my
we-
Switch?
As much as we talked about turtles in not turtles of time tournament fighters,
Tournament. Yeah.
to see them come back in the fighting game, like
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually the original thing that I read. They had a picture of tournament fighters, and then it was saying, you know, that they were gonna be in Injustice 2, and I'm like, what? So that caught my eye right away when I seen the tournament fighters cover from Super Nintendo. So,
According to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video game Wikipedia page, okay.
huh?
The last game that Activision had the rights to was the Platinum Games one.
Right.
And now Activision does not have the rights to Ninja Turtles anymore. That reverted back to Nickelodeon at the beginning of 2017, and they have the sole right to license out the Turtles as they see fit.
okay, so that explains
Okay.
why they haven't the Nickelodeon comic book now, because that one crossover, the other one with Batman, there's only 6 issues out so far, so that's the ongoing comic book right now with the Batman and Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the video game license. I
The
think
video
the
Yeah.
comic license, I still think Peter Laird
IDW.
still owns the rights to them.
Okay.
And like
Okay.
you know, they have an exclusive publishing deal with IDW, but then I think IDW is a subsidiary of DC Comics. I think.
I think so. I'm not sure. I don't remember
I don't
exactly.
I don't
Because
think
I
so.
know Batman's does a lot of stuff with the IDW. So, I mean, that would make sense why he would be on so many of their comics. You know, so many crossovers and things like that between characters from DC and.
But IDW was around when the Turtles first started, I believe. When it was
Yeah,
just
they-
but the first Ninja Turtle comics were self-published, though.
right, but they weren't part of DC. That's the thing about it.
No.
No, well, when they were by themselves,
They're
yeah.
still not part of DC. Or IDW. Okay. IDW
'cause-
Publishing is an American publisher of comic books, graphic novels, art books, and comic strip collections. The company was founded as the publishing division of Idea Design Works LLC and is now a publishing arm of DC Comics.
Okay.
So, okay.
Oh, so they published DC Comics, or DC Comics published them?
No, DC Comics bought them to work on, just to fund them to do smaller projects that aren't necessarily DC related, like more like independent works.
Yeah, because like Walking Dead and stuff is on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
IDW and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Because I think when IDW first started and DC wasn't part of them, Warner Brothers did, but didn't buy DC yet. So
Yeah. Now, take what I said with a grain of salt. I did read it off of Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is usually a solid source for like just this information. I wouldn't like cite them in a paper I was writing for school or anything.
Yeah.
But...
Well, and when it comes to stuff like comic books, the hardcore nerds aren't gonna let false information be up there.
Yeah.
They're gonna change it right away. They're gonna want it changed.
Can I just point out how good the Ninja Turtles looked in that trailer, though? Just like how
yes,
good and like that's how they're supposed to look, type of way. Like that's just how they're supposed to look. All right, when I see Ninja Turtles, like that's what I envision them looking like. It's just awesome, and like they did a little like cool touch ups. Like they look like the turtles from like probably like the first two movies. I would say leading more towards. I would actually say they look more towards like Secret of the Ooze turtles, but like they have that feel of the first two movies. But they did the cool thing where like in the first two movies they had like the brown wristbands and the brown like shoulder pads and stuff. In this one they had like they're colored, like they weren't like pads, they were like boxing tape and like ankle tape in the colors that like their masks were. I was just like, oh man, that's like the turtles that I dream about at night, man.
Yeah,
which is funny
yeah,
because you know what's funny about this announcement? Like me and my friend from work are actually scripting we're actually scripting what we want like a Ninja Turtles story to be. So we're actually writing together a script for like a Turtles movie that would be like a sequel to the first two movies, but like have the idea of that. Remember the animated one that came out, like 2007-ish? That was supposed to be like a semi-sequel to the first three movies, but kind of was, kind of wasn't. Had the Easter eggs from those movies, but wasn't really, you know? Like, and Leonardo was off doing his own thing, and all the turtles were kind of doing their own thing, and then they came back together. That's kind of what we're writing, and it's just like, I was like, I'm just in like full turtle mode right now. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm wearing my my turtles shirt. It's it's a zombie shirt, and they're eating. It just says, instead of brains, it's a Krang that
Nice.
is in their thought bubble.
Nice.
Yes. Well,
I don't think I've ever been so excited for a video game announcement in my life, except for like when the Switch was announced.
Okay. Well, no, the Doom one.
Doom? I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't even that. I wasn't even this excited for that. Like, I was just.
Dude,
that was hype.
was like,
but this is like.
we was. I mean, the same, because see, I have to keep my excitement like down.
Ed,
like, really,
But Ed, my infatuation with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Corey, I wanted to lose my mind when this got announced. At first, I did not believe this. I'm like, this is a joke.
Dude, I thought somebody was kidding. Like, I thought this was like some kind of spoof thing.
Okay. That's the kind of level and that's why I had to keep my expectations like, okay, this can't be real. Seeing the trailer, it was just like, oh my goodness, how and why, and now I want this. Like, I might have to pick up Injustice too.
God is real. Let me tell you.
But see, you took the excitement from me, and it just showcased it because I was just like, good. Me and Corey on the same level, and Jesse, we're like all three on the same level of excitement for this. But I have to be like a host and be calm and cool about it. I really do hope that they're balanced, and I hope they play out really good.
But like my only fear for this. My only fear about the Ninja Turtles is that like the turtles themselves are all going to take up one character slot, and they're just going to be like palette swaps. Like, like, okay, you got this cool Batman suit, but then you got this cool Batman suit. My fear is that each turtle is just going to be a different costume for Turtle X, and then like maybe they'll play a little bit different depending on what skin you pick, but like that's really my only fear. Now, if they take up 4 character slots, dude, I will not be on this podcast for like a month because I will be playing it 24/7.
Honestly, I think that they would probably have them individual, just because like they're saving a lot of time on a majority of making the character, just because they are fairly similar. So you'd think that because they maybe saved some time on that, they could put that time in other places of developing the character and just give you actual different characters for each one. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Because that would kind of be a bummer if it was, just an alternate costume for the one turtle.
Yeah. I mean, but besides that, dude, I am so excited. I've never been excited for a fighting game, but I've never been so
True.
excited for something in my entire life. Like,
I-
this just makes me like, if Warner Brothers, if this is like, this is definitely gonna be a boost, right, to Injustice, because like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
Batman and like the DC characters are you know, exciting enough. They're enough to be excited about. But you add Turtles that have, like, there's so many people who love the Ninja Turtles that don't care about, like, there's so many sections of Turtle fans. There's the original cartoon, there's the original movies, there's the original comics, there's the video games, and then you kind of like hit, like, the turtle design themselves hits just enough of each of those like points that it's gonna bring so many new players in. Like, I can't tell you how many people I saw online say, man, my hype level for Injustice was like a 0, but now I'm like all in on Injustice. And I was like,
and stuff like that just gonna reinvigorate people to go out and buy the game.
yeah,
Like, and I'm sorry, Capcom, but you guys are literally
Dude, they
in
just-
trouble.
dude, there's no way. There's no way they can announce something bigger than this to their
Exactly.
like, unless they like the only thing I could compare this to is if in Marvel vs. Capcom, like, they added Star Wars characters because, you know, Star Wars has such a huge fan base. That's like the only thing I could possibly try to compare this to. Would be like, I mean, and like, for me, that's not even the same thing. But like, I know to a lot of people, like, that would be a huge deal, is if like Marvel vs. Capcom would add Star Wars characters, just because Disney owns them. But
It would literally would be Capcom. The only way that Capcom could steal Warner Brothers fire for Turtles is that they got to bring a new Power Stone out and a new Darksiders and make it Switch exclusive.
man, I don't
That's
think so.
with that would literally, and there was
mean,
a school one.
Even then, dude, like, even if this, like, what Pow Block, one of the new stories for Pow Block is like that rumor mill thing that I sent you earlier.
Yes.
And like, one of the rumors is Soul Calibur 6 is going to be announced at PSX, but the Switch version is going to have Link in it, which would be like that's like the only thing I can compare this Ninja Turtles thing to, is be like Soul Calibur with Link coming back for Soul Calibur.
Everybody wants Link back in Soul Calibur. That was the reason that was the only reason that Soul Calibur 2 sold on GameCube and actually outbeat PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
That's because
together.
nobody really cares about Heihachi or Spawn. Like, everybody loves Link. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of Spawn fans out there, but like, actually, I had the Xbox version too, and Spawn was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, Spawn was pretty cool.
I feel
But Link was way better.
Yes. Yes. So we are happy for that news. Yes. Congratulations, WB. You won a lot of our hearts.
Now that Shadow of War is out, that team needs a new project. Okay, that fighting is cool. Just give them the Ninja Turtles and be like,
But that's
Nickelodeon WB. Here you go.
But that's the problem. That's the problem, because they're already working on someone is already working on the Ninja Turtles video game.
Who's working on a Ninja Turtles video game?
Um,
Who's working on a Ninja Turtles video game? Ed, tell me right now. I did not know this.
I have to look it up. But they did announce that they got a new game.
No.
I think Nickelodeon. I thought Nickelodeon announced that they had a new game.
Are you talking about that mobile game, TMNT Legends?
I don't think so. No, I think it was someone was working on a new Ninja Turtles game.
Yeah, I didn't hear about either, but
I read something about that, but they didn't say if it was mobile or it was console. I think it was console, but I don't know who's working on it.
The only things on the Wikipedia page are, like, the two games that are in development are DLC for TMNT Legends for iPhone, iPad, Android, Kindle Fire. And then the characters for Injustice, and then the thing before that was the Platinum Games one.
Oh, that's very weird. I don't know if I have to look it up.
Oh my gosh, Ed! If there's a new Turtle game,
yeah, someone said, yeah, because remember there was a rumor that someone said that a new Ninja Turtles game was in the works, but they didn't announce who was doing it. So it might be still in a rumor mill because I need a 4-player beat 'em up 2D linear.
See, I want an open world action RPG. This is what I want for a Turtles game.
That'd be hard.
I want like Arkham City style intricacy in the sewer systems, and like big bosses that give you like experience points and new weapons. Like you can upgrade your weapons as you make your way through the city. No, Ed, no,
Corey.
No, I want Horizon Batman and Shadow of War to make one game and call it TMNT.
No.
And then
listen.
No,
listen,
you listen.
Hold on, no,
you listen.
No,
in the sewer base, you walk up to the arcade cabinet. There's like 5 arcade cabinets lined up, and they have Hyperstone Heist, Turtles in Time, Turtles the arcade game, Mutants in Manhattan, and then whatever super cool side scroller.
They have to get that from Konami. So whoever does
that'd be awesome. That'd be so awesome.
Listen, I was just saying.
Actually, they have to get it from like
they were going
IRM
to
or
do
something.
Open world TMNT. And see, this could be Arsenal Exchange, but it's not. If they were going to do an open world TMNT, I'm sorry, Ninja Theory has to take it. Ninja Theory, to me, personally, would have to take it because they have designed combat for a bow with Enslave, with swords, with the katana, which is DMC, with nunchucks. I think also DMC in a way. Oh no, not DMC, but
they can do close quarters combat too, because like,
yeah,
I mean, like if you're talking purely from a combat perspective, they have experience with swords, they have experience with close range combat, which could be Wrath because of the those weird like fist things that you get.
Yeah.
And then
they're very artistic. Their level design is really good, so they could capture New York or even Manhattan and make that open world. Like they could literally do that.
I don't know. They've never really done an open world game though before. They would have to staff up for an open world, especially if they're using Unreal. Like if that's their engine of choice, like they really gonna have to staff up for an open world because Unreal doesn't really do open world all that great. I mean, like I guess the Arkham games were open world, but still, like I don't know. But I guess that could be a topic for another day. I'm just so excited for Turtles, dude. Like, just to see someone acknowledging the fact that Turtles can be viable in some form in video games today is just like, thank you, NetherRealm and WB for giving me part of my dream. Is to have a modern Ninja Turtles game, and I seriously think they're testing the waters to see the hype around Ninja Turtles, and they're putting them in a game that people like already seem to love, and they're like, let's gauge a reaction to this. Can we viably make a Ninja Turtles game? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's move on before I just keep going on because it's just too exciting. It's too exciting.
Well, the thing about keep your excitement up because I'm sorry everybody that I have to bring it down. EA has purchased Respawn and
Rip Titanfall. Rip
um,
Respawn. Rip BioWare.
exactly. Vince Zampella is back under the banner of a major publisher. The former Infinity Ward heads was famously fired and sued by Activision in 2010 before forming Respawn Entertainment. After spending 7 years as an independent studio, Respawn set to be a subsidiary of a major publisher. As reported by VentureBeat, EA purchased Respawn was $455 million. There is 151 million in cash, 164 million in restricted long-term stock grants, and up to 140 million dollars in performance-based incentives. The transaction is expected to be completed by the end of the year. Accompanying the news is the revelation that Respawn seems to already be at work on 3 different projects for EA. The studio is currently developing a third installment in the Titanfall series, some sort of Star Wars game, and an unnamed VR experience. It seems as if most major EA subsidiaries are going to be responsible for something Star Wars related. Um, Zampella had this to say to people who are worried. Uh, Give me 1 second, everybody. Gotta scroll down. Zampella has this to say to people who are worried about what total acquisition might turn on Respawn's games. My message is we are still Respawn and we are going to make things better. It doesn't change the future of Titanfall. Only positives come from it, like more resources.
I know this leads into your next topic, but like I am so surprised that Microsoft didn't try to go after Respawn. And I know like EA has had the first right of refusal because I think Nexon tried to buy them first just because like EA publishes their games, but like I'm kind of surprised like Microsoft didn't at least try to make a bid. I mean, I know they already have their first-person shooter franchise in Halo, but like, I mean, Respawn would have added an awesome developer to their arsenal.
Yeah. Well, I wonder though if it was like kind of one of those things where like, you know, earlier when we talked about Phil Spencer kind of, you know, because I mean, like, because you'd hate for them to be stuck like being, I don't know that they would have with Microsoft, but you'd hate for them to be stuck like having to create something that maybe if they want to be able to go off and do other things, like kind of thing. But
I think the thing about it is that with Microsoft, we know that that Respawn wouldn't get closed, and people fear because there's an opinionated piece on Game Informer's website, where one of the editors was talking about, you know, this is the final goodbye to Respawn because of what they did to Visceral, and they fear that when EA buys a company, they end up getting closed, because the heads of EA don't know what they're doing, and so they don't see any profit they're getting from. They'll just end up closing that studio. Where I think at least with Microsoft and Respawn, if they were to make a game, regardless if it's sold or not, we know that Respawn is still in a good place of not closing, and they'll just make the game get better. But go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, you know, obviously I would have liked to seen Respawn go to Microsoft just because they, you know, they did have the original first Halo, or not Halo, the first Titanfall game, and you know, I like that was a like a big time, you know, need for me at that time. Like I wanted that game so bad when it came out.
I wanted it too.
I still to this day I love it.
I ended up buying it on 360 because I wanted it so bad, and I didn't have an Xbox One yet. And like that game was awesome on 360.
Yeah, for 360. Yeah, I was surprised how well it looked on there. The only thing that I didn't like is they didn't really advertise it for 360 much. Like they didn't really ever, like it was hard to find video play of it, like what it looked like on there and stuff. And it kind of made me worried that it wasn't going to look very good, but then eventually I did see, and it looked pretty good. But But yeah, like that was one of the things that I was looking forward to, owning an Xbox One at the time. I was like, oh, this is gonna be such an awesome game, and I loved that game so much. And I got the second one. I just don't have as much time, so I don't play that one as much, but as I did the first one. But I still do love those games.
Jesse,
Like they're amazing.
You need to play Titanfall 2's campaign.
No, I
Really
did.
good.
I did. I beat it. I loved the campaign. It was amazing. It was like one of my favorite campaigns because I don't play that's telling in itself because I don't normally play campaign mode in most first person shooter games like Call of Duty, all those. I've always just kind of played the multiplayer because that's what my friends did,
Yeah.
And I just I'd try the campaigns in the Call of Duty games sometimes, but I never really finished them. But when I started Titanfall 2, it was just so amazing that I had to keep on playing it, so it just kept me hooked. So yeah. It's a great campaign. So, but I like as far as this whole thing going, I'm worried because I'd hate to see Titanfall get wrecked, and I'd hate to see them like something happen to them as a group again. This would be the second time then that they gone through breaking up, or whatever possibly, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and just, because I think Titanfall now at this point is a strong enough, game that it, that they hopefully it will be enough to let EA know that, hey, like they know what they're doing when it comes to this game, and hopefully they don't screw around with it, and it just only are there to literally make it, help with things that they want to do to make it better.
Well, I think a lot of people fear that EA involvement is going to be like, we need you guys to put stuff in to make us more money. So, of course, like loot boxes and DLC and stuff like that. And people fear that if EA's involvement shows in Titanfall 3, like predominantly throughout the whole game, that's going to turn a lot of people off. And that's going to be like, we really now don't want to buy this game. Because what people wanted in the Titanfall 2, they wanted to be on multiple systems, and they wanted a single player. Well, Respawn did that, and that didn't work. So now I think with EA's involvement now, they're probably gonna be like, well, let's see if we could still give them that, but let's put in these loot boxes because it makes us money. So if that shows up in the game a lot, definitely in single player, a lot of people gonna feel like, no, this is not Titanfall anymore. This is just a ATM machine for EA or something. Like,
well, and I think as long as they do what they do now, like I could see EA doing what they do now, like, because right now, as far as it goes, like you get maps and all that for free, but the only thing you have to pay for is cosmetics, right? If I remember correctly.
yes.
So if they were to do that, just continue doing that, but with having a bigger group and more people to dedicate time to making stuff for the games, just up the amount of stuff that they have for cosmetics to pick from, and then just make money off that like they already were with Titanfall 2. Like if they just do that, I'd have no problem with it. Or like Siege kind of does the same thing too.
And I think a lot of people will appreciate that because that just shows that EA hands was on it. But I think EA is going to try to force them to be like, you need to put this in, because now that we own you guys, the decisions that we make for your game need to be implemented. And people are going to be fearing that. The stuff that we did get for free is not going to happen anymore. Everything that you get in that game, you're going to be charged for. And that's what a lot of people fear. Well,
and I wonder if maybe the reason that they have them working on on a Star Wars game is because maybe that was a deal that they made with them. Hey, we'll let you keep Titanfall and do it the way you want to do it and do that kind of stuff, but when it comes to the Star Wars game that you're making for us, we want you to do it the way, like, make, they want to be able to make money off of a game that they know they're guaranteed they're going to make money off of because it's a Star Wars game. Like, I mean, there's a possibility that could have been part of the deal as to why they're doing a Star Wars game, is because they're like, you can keep your game and you can do your game and do it the way you want, but we want you to do the Star Wars game, the way that you would do it, but we want, use that as our money maker, basically. I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm more fearful about the other studios that EA has than Respawn, because Respawn is hot right now, right? EA usually buys studios when they're hot, and then kind of like once people leave and stuff, like BioWare, for an example, like they were so hot coming off of Mass Effect, and then they put out Mass Effect 2 and EA bought them, and it was just like, man, BioWare's at the top of their game right now. They've got Dragon Age coming out, they've got Mass Effect, and now look, we have like we got a pretty okay Mass Effect game in terms of reviews this year, and then we have another game that's kind of like questionable, an Anthem. Like, we don't really know what that is yet, and the fact that so many people were leaving and that they rehired Casey Hudson is kind of like a scream for help, and the fact that Visceral closed, it's just like, I'm more fearful for studios like BioWare and maybe Motive or Criterion and stuff like that to close or become more like helper studios that make maps and do different, because like Criterion hasn't really put out a game in a while. They've been stuck on vehicle duty for DICE. They've been doing I think Criterion's doing all the vehicle stuff for Battlefront. So I mean, it's sad. So I just hope they know what they're doing, and I would hate for them to have to leave that studio again, like the way they broke up with Activision and have to start something new. But I mean, I don't think they want to go through that either, and I think they probably played their cards a little bit, and they were just like, look, we're smart enough to know what we're doing, and this seems like a pretty good opportunity and whatever. So I don't know, we'll see. I give it like maybe 5 years or something. Maybe EA will put Titanfall out and against Destiny 3 and Battlefield 736 and
yeah, everybody's been placing bets on when they're gonna be when Respawn's gonna be closed. Like, a lot of people indicate. We'll get to that in our exchange because we need to move on to our last story. Microsoft is interested in acquiring studios and starting new ones. As oft-lived complaint of Xbox is that it doesn't have enough exclusives. The focus over the past few holiday seasons has been to grow the Xbox One install base, which has worked and seems set to grow again this year with the launch of the Xbox One X. But now the attention has to switch to software. Xbox head Phil Spencer makes the tactic admission in a recent interview with Bloomberg. "We need to grow, and I look forward to doing that," Spencer remarks. "Our ability to go create content has to be one of our strengths. We haven't always invested at the same level. We've gone through ups and downs in this investment." What he means is that Xbox is planning to open new studios and to acquire existing ones. Spencer didn't mention any sort of details, such as how many subsidiaries is aiming for, what kind of projects they'll have, and when any of this will happen. All we know is that he wants more studios under the Xbox banner.
Someone they should go after, in all honesty, and I know this wouldn't be like a system seller or anything for the console, but it would add depth to their library. IO and Hitman. Oh
yes,
I think that would be an amazing acquisition for Microsoft. And like, they just went independent. They're looking for a publisher for Hitman Season 2. Like, what if you could, like, so many fans of Hitman played that game across all platforms. Like, what if Microsoft went in and said, hey, we're going to buy you and, pump more money into your game that you love to do so much. And we're going to let you do what you want to do. And what an amazing game that would add to the Xbox library.
It will be a middle finger to Square Enix.
Or
Big time.
they could publish it on PlayStation as well. We talked a lot about, last week on PAL Block and, a little bit here. Microsoft is looking to reach gamers on other platforms. What a perfect opportunity for them to reach gamers on other platforms. It's not a system selling franchise. It's a big franchise. It makes money, not like obviously not enough money for Square to keep them around, but I'm sure it would make Microsoft a little bit of money. The season pass stuff, maybe a little bit of microtransactions in terms of like cosmetic items. It's an interesting game that they could publish across platforms. We were talking about Max in the Cursed Brotherhood being
Curse of the Brotherhood.
Curse of the Brotherhood on PlayStation now. Like Microsoft's setting themselves up, and what a great opportunity it would be for them to either, bring that game in house or
do they keep
platforms.
But do they keep Hitman episodic or
oh yeah.
So
why not? It did well. It did well enough for IO to make a season 1.5 for their Game of the Year edition, and they're working on season 2. So they obviously like that model. It got me more interested in Hitman. Like I didn't care about Hitman, and like every 2 or 3 months, oh, there's a new level coming out in Hitman, and like podcasts kept talking about it. Like Giant Bomb was obsessed with Hitman for a long time, and like I ended up buying like the first 2 packs, and I mean, there's just other games I was more interested in and stuff, but like it had me more interested in Hitman than I had ever been in it. So yeah, they keep it episodic. I think it's a smart move, I really do think it's a smart move to keep that episodic.
Okay. What about you, Jesse?
As far as I don't know. All I know is I've been kind of waiting for this. I knew that this that this news would come eventually, that they're gonna start looking for more stuff to get some more games out there. And unfortunately, it's got me excited, but at the same time, we don't really know much more than that. But yeah, like I could see something like that happening, like what he was talking about with Hitman, or like grab some of those like games that make money that maybe aren't exactly like massive games that you could be able to pull a little money off of, but let it go to other systems and do other things as well and still get money from it. And then they could work on building other stuff with that money that they make for and because like right now, basically what Xbox would probably want to do is just look for all different kinds of games, like all different styles of games. Like, I mean, they have different styles of games right now that you can play on it that are smaller games, but like that, that's the one thing that PlayStation has going right now is, a lot of those other, like, they have, a lot of independent or whatever people that make like different kinds of style games. Like as far as a lot of the stuff PlayStation has kind of looks similar, but they've always got other areas to go to get different unique styles of gaming. Well, and so that's what Xbox should do, is just try to get all different kinds of styles of
Do you think Phil Spencer should go to Amy Hennig? I think that's her name, Amy Hennig. Mm-hmm. Do you think Xbox offer her a studio to make a game for them?
Yeah, I think they should go.
Would be awesome.
I think they should go sign her and be like, look, we will build a studio around you. We will fund the game that you want to make. We need that's something as great as a lot of Xbox's portfolio is, that's something they're sorely missing right now. It's just like a third-person action linear adventure game. That is something they are really missing. They have a diversified portfolio. A lot of it's not super popular, but if you attach a name like Amy Hennig to it, you get top talent and build a studio around Amy Hennig for a game. Like
I think that would drive their story-driven content that Phil Spencer has been talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like Microsoft already makes enough money off of microtransactions from Gears and Halo and Forza and stuff like that. Like they can afford to and it's something that Sony's been doing well, in terms of providing a lot of first-party single-player driven games. You look at Horizon, you look at Ghost of Tsushima. Like how well do you think Ghost of Tsushima is going to sell? That's not that type of game appeals to such a small amount of audience compared to PS4s out there. But Microsoft is going to be able to take that risk because they don't have things like that. They don't have their Horizon. Because, we all know Horizon is like a great game, but for the amount of PS4s that are out there, Horizon's only sold a little over 3 million copies. Like, that's not a lot. Microsoft would benefit greatly for their portfolio to have something that would sell like somewhere between 3 and 6 million copies, and attaching Amy Hennig's name to that is also a big middle finger to Sony and be like, look, we are like this is what you guys lost, and now we have her, and this is her game. Like from the writer of Uncharted, they can use Uncharted in their marketing. From the creators and writers of Uncharted, from that's huge. So
Well, yeah, I think so, because to me, I think Microsoft doesn't need. They could go for independent studios, like small indies, if they want to, but I think they need some big name top talents. They need at least about 4. I think they need.
I think they need to open. I think they need to, like, now that they're kind of entering the end of their kind of like restructuring phase, because the Xbox One S was kind of like the beginning, and taking back all that always online stuff, kind of the beginning of their restructuring phase. The Xbox One X is the like stamp on, okay, we have the system in place, we have our online structure in place, now we need the games. I think if coming out of E3 or even in press releases or whatever, they say Microsoft's opening 2 new studios for single player action adventure driven experiences, and then 2 weeks later, Amy Hennig signs contract, is out at EA, signs contract with Microsoft, and she heads one of the studios. Like, man, look at all the talent. You've got Frank O'Connor from Bungie heading 343 for Halo. You've got Rod Ferguson heading the Coalition, like co-creator of Gears of War, like coming back to Microsoft. Then you would have Amy Hennig of Uncharted fame making a cool new franchise for. Oh my gosh, dude! Oh, I'm getting excited all over again.
I think Microsoft needs to find a Japanese director to hit Fable.
I think they need to give up on the Japanese stuff. That's not happening.
I think Fable needs a Japanese director.
No, dude. Fable needs a British developer.
No, Fable needs a Japanese director.
So wrong on that.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
You are so wrong on that, dude.
But let me tell you why I feel like
Rare needs to make Fable.
Yeah, Rare should do Fable.
Oh no!
With the art style and the British humor, are you kidding me, Ed?
No.
Please tell me you're kidding.
No.
You're making me very angry right now.
No. Hold on. I'm making you angry, but you're smiling and laughing because I love you. No, I think Fable needs a Japanese director because I don't think that.
Dude, they would have to totally turn around what Fable is to have a Japanese director on that game.
Right. Well, yeah, but Fable is not strong enough for Microsoft to believe in it.
No, Fable is strong enough. The spin-off games are not strong enough. The card game, the Kinect game, and the one that they canceled.
There was only one spin-off game that came out.
3.
Did it?
There's 2 that came out and 1 that got canceled, and they all came out after Fable 3.
Did the Kinect one get canceled?
No, the Kinect one, Kinect the Journey, which was that horse riding one, awful. The 4v1 dungeon crawler one got canceled, Fable Legends, and then there's a card game that's supposedly out that nobody's playing. Because that's what I want from Fable is a card game.
I didn't even know they had one. I thought they were just showing the Kinect one.
Nope. Dude, people want to return to Fable 1 and 2, not these spin-offs.
How well did Fable 3 do?
It did fantastic. Let me see. Fable series sales.
Because that's why I just feel like it needs a Japanese developer.
No, dude,
because
they're giving up on that.
I think they're more because Fable's fighting mechanics and some of his gameplay systems were just horribly designed. Like,
well, yeah, but that's why you give them you have a team that can, like, you know, do combat. Like, it's not a Japanese or American or European thing. It's just you need a team that can do combat.
Well, I think Japanese director can give that combat that's needed in an action RPG style.
Fable 3 sold 6.1 million units. It's the highest selling Fable game to date. Oh, there's been 3 mainline games, the remake of Fable 1, and then the 3 spin-off games.
I don't know, when did a remake of Fable 1?
Yep. Yeah,
for 360?
Yeah, it was the last year of the 360's life cycle. It came out like the October before Xbox One came out.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I have it. And it was the first time you could be a girl in Fable 1.
I didn't even know they remade it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really a remake. It was just like a Halo 1 anniversary thing where, like, it was literally the same game. It was just they updated the graphics. But no, I think Rare would be the perfect studio to do Fable.
They don't have enough experience with RPGs.
That's why you staff up for them. But, like, they understand the British humor. They understand like the world and the art direction. Like,
Rare had to do their own game.
They are
to prove that. Like, Rare would have to make their own game in that form of Fable to prove that they could do it. And I don't think
they did.
Rare...
It's called Banjo-Kazooie.
Well, and honestly, like, the way I look at...
Hold on, Jesse. You gonna throw that kind of shade?
I did.
Okay, go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, if you're looking for, like, something about the Sea of Thieves, for whatever reason, reminds me of Fable, and I don't know why, but for some reason, like,
it's the character design is what really.
Yeah, well, and I could see Fable being like a more open world RPG, kind of similar to Sea of Thieves, but obviously it would be in the Fable world, and it would be more like.
Well, Fable was open world RPG.
Well, I know, but
he's
I'm
talking
saying,
about in the vein of what Sea of Thieves is, like a
like like a more broad, you know, spectrum and
almost like an MMO style world, but set in the Fable.
Like that kind of like a Skyrim type game, but only, you know, Fable. But I don't know. I don't know. I just for whatever reason, Rare is like just seems to be the one that I would pick too. Unfortunately, I have to agree with Corey that I just don't.
What, are you telling me I have bad ideas?
If we're gonna see, if we're gonna pick someone who's already with Microsoft, you know, like to work on it, that's, you know, close with them now, and is, you know, has proven, you know, is in the process of proving what they can do for Microsoft. I think that they're a good choice for that.
Now, you want to give a Japanese developer a franchise. You give Perfect Dark to Kojima Productions and make me a Metal Gear Solid 5 game, but set in the Perfect Dark universe, and I'll be on board with you 100%.
Okay, I need to walk away from this conversation because that's a bad combination.
No, dude, Metal Gear Solid 5 is great.
That Perfect Dark wouldn't even ever come out. That game would be in
development. That'd be awesome. Be awesome.
We'll get like 8 cutscenes for the 8 years that it's showing, and then when the game finally released,
awesome.
It'll be a movie. I'd be like, really, Kojima?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I could see. I could see Perfect Dark done in like the style of like Persona or something, like with that kind of like Japanese like animation type, character design.
Yeah,
Like
I
something
mean,
like that. That would be pretty cool.
I didn't necessarily mean like Perfect Dark Go Japanese. I mean like that would be
I
that'd be
actually
kind of
wouldn't
cool.
mind it though.
That would actually be kind of cool. But like what I'm saying, like Perfect
Look,
Dark
Jesse's all for it.
for Perfect Dark to be viable again, they need to take it out of the first person shooter space and really make like I think a Perfect Dark in the vein of Metal Gear Solid 5, an open world type stealth game where you're going around taking over bases, not necessarily the 3-hour cutscenes in between each mission or anything, but like, you could have different companions that you take on these missions with you, like a sniper or a dog. I'm always up for having a dog companion in games. Like, you could take it out and it'd be cool instead of like this realistic desert looking world. It'd be cool like the way Perfect Dark Zero was, where it was like purples and greens and oranges and like really stylized, but still have that cool gameplay of the open world taking over bases style thing. Still think that'd be really cool.
Something like Atomic Blonde. I know you guys haven't seen it, but that kind of like spy kind of game that like a spy kind of game that deals with colors and something like very choreographed in its cutscenes, but you also could do cool stuff when playing the game.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Yeah, because and that's that seems to go over very well with with Microsoft. They always do good with the like more brighter colors and the more vibrant looking games. And I think that would be nice. Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody, I want you to email the show at arsenalx@gmail.com. Let us know, would you prefer a Japanese director to do Fable or Rare to do Fable? I really want to hear.
Nobody wants a Japanese director for Fable.
I'm going to put it out on the Facebook page at NGR Radio Communities page, and I'm going to put it on Arsenal X Facebook. But I actually want to hear you guys what you think. Corey and Jesse might be right. I may be wrong. Corey, do not see sponsored.
I have no comment, Edward. No further comments.
How fun would the show be if we all agreed?
That's true.
So
we agree about Ninja Turtles, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain things you all have to agree on. Ninja Turtles, pepperoni pizza.
Well,
get out of here. Shut up. Get on to the next topic.
Before
I drive there and slap you.
Get on with it.
That's 6 hours, Corey.
I don't care how long it takes me. I'm going to slap you anyway.
Do I need to get you a hotel room first?
Nah. We'll see.
Okay. I mean, I'll eat pepperoni pizza. I have no problem with it. I just prefer it on like Supreme. I do.
But I don't like anything on my pizza except for pepperoni. So I mean, I'm not the one that should be talking about anything.
I mean, because I think with pepperoni, I eat the pepperoni quickly before I eat the pizza, and it's just like, I just want to eat the pepperoni. Because sometimes when it's crisp on a good pizza, you eat the pepperoni just like, oh, this just tastes so good. It tastes like fried bologna in a way. I'm hood.
Ew. I don't understand words that you're saying right now. I do. Fried bologna.
I don't know. Jesse, have you had the fried bologna with the bubble?
I can't do this right now.
Yes, I have. Hey, come on now. I've had Spam. I've had so I'm not above eating fried bologna.
It's a hood thing, Corey. I tell you, the best fried bologna that I had, it had the red kind of strap around it, and you had to take the red strap off, and you cook it. But you could use like Oscar Mayer or any kind of bologna. It's a hood thing, Corey. You're very suburban, so you don't know nothing about that. Let me give him that puzzle look. I need a picture of that, just like Fried bologna. No, pepperoni.
Uh,
uh,
speaking of, we were. This is just kind of off topic, but we were driving around, me and my wife and the kids earlier today, and like all of a sudden, like I don't know if a house or something was on fire or something was burning, and so like the whole entire town, it looked like it was just foggy out, but it ended up being something was burning. And my wife's like, "Oh, I hate the smell of burning, like stuff burning like that." I'm like, "Smells fine, it smells good." I'm like, but then again, I did grow up in the house that I lived in where they burned bodies like right across the street. So
what?
I'm like, yeah. So smelling this is like nothing. Try smelling that. So, yeah, we had it literally like right on like on the other side of my street there was a building, and then behind that building there was a place where, where they did funerals and stuff, and they
Oh,
actually
like
had
cremation.
they had a crematory there. And so like every once in a while they would be burning bodies, and man, does that reek. Holy cow.
Oh, wow.
a little glimpse into no one should ever have to live next to those. Those should be out somewhere where there's no one living.
I used to live by a cemetery in my old home. So,
Yeah.
well, everybody, we're going to get to our last section, which is our Arsenal exchange. And we talked about this company. But what in the world is going on at EA with them closing Visceral, them buying Respawn, this games as a service, revenue per player? Like, what in the world is EA doing?
They're basically becoming Activision Junior. Is pretty much what they're becoming. They're restructuring to make money. They want the lowest output, like in terms of games. They want their profit margins to be huge, and they want to make the most money they can from the least amount of products they put out. And I'm not saying like they don't want to put out a lot of products, but I'm just saying like they want to get the most out of each product that they possibly can. And like, a lot of people don't want that, but I mean, a lot of people won't ever know that. A lot of people, just go and say, "Oh, look, there's new Star Wars Battlefront game out. I like Star Wars, I'll play it," or I like Madden, I like in the NFL, I'm going to play Madden, and those people exist, and very few people are going to like, in the grand scheme of things, are going to be having the conversation that we're having right now, and that's why I'm frightful for BioWare to close, because like, a lot of that team one of the teams got shifted into Motive to work on Battlefront 2, and the other half of BioWare is working on Anthem. And if like all the chips are on the table for Anthem, for BioWare, and if BioWare doesn't work out, like they're toast. Like, I mean, I know the Star Wars MMO is still going, but I don't really know how profitable that is at this point. I just think they leave the servers on because that game's been out for so long and people still play it. But like, they want everything to have loot boxes and microtransactions, and all the sports games already do that. Battlefront, from all sources, are saying it's almost pay to win.
Pretty much.
I haven't played the game. I don't know what the structure is, but from what I see a lot of people saying, and it's not just the internet haters club coming out and bashing on Star Wars. It's people that we know and other Facebook groups and stuff that are playing the game. Like, yeah, this microtransaction stuff's a little ridiculous, and that sucks. That really sucks, But and my money is that Anthem's probably going to be the same way, and they're just retooling their studios to do stuff like that. And Need for Speed is a game that I think that studio is probably going to be gone within the next 2 years. Whatever studio just put out this recent Need for Speed game.
The Payback.
Yeah, what was it? Black Box? No, that's not right. I don't remember, but you know what I mean.
It,
Like they just
which is weird that the game came out like last Friday, and like like the reviews for it has been like really bad. Um, but it's just like Microsoft didn't know. I'm not Microsoft. EA
Ghost
did no
games.
kind of yeah. EA did no kind of not publishing marketing for that game, and that's a bad sign. And I kind of want to ask you, Jesse, do you think we should accept piss poor games from EA because they feel
No,
like they're gonna make money through their microtransactions?
It's not that
no, it like
it's not that the games are bad. It's their tactics are bad. Like they
yeah.
they're well, they're not bad. They're not gamer friendly. Like the tactics they're implementing into their games aren't gamer friendly. You know, I think in terms of pure gameplay, I think Battlefront was one of the best shooters I played in a long time, you know, and it graphically was stunning, but at the same time it's like all these microtransactions, that's shady stuff. And if this new one is pay to win, you know, that's stupid. That's so stupid. You know?
Yeah, because they didn't really like the only thing that was kind of wasn't really pay to win because it took a long time before it was an option. But like even if they would have just did what they did with the Battlefield games where you couldn't really pay to get like all the guns unlocked or anything like
Hmm.
that until the game had been out for quite a while. And that I think was just to counterbalance people who decided to get the game later and it had already been out for like a year or whatever. Those people trying to jump into a game with no weapons, you can choose to do that, but if you wanted to, you could also pay to be able to unlock all the weapons right away and be, kind of not be as, as at a disadvantage anymore, but it's an option. It's not something you have to do. But like, if you did that, I'm okay with that. But yeah, if you're like right off the bat letting people be able to spend money to get the best weapons and the best things like right off the bat when the game just comes out, it's ridiculous. Like I don't understand why anyone would do that.
So, do you guys think that EA doesn't believe in hard work anymore? Like, for some reason, they just believe, hey, if you don't want to put the time and effort in to own stuff like this, you could just buy your way. Like, that's the most easier way. It's like, give us your credit card money, and we'll give you the easy access.
Yeah, I think it's just they probably are unfortunately just exploiting the fact that there are a lot of people who are casual gamers. It's it's I don't blame the people who do buy it and spend the money if
Hmm.
it's an option. But at the same time, it is kind of stupid that it's an option. Like I said, like right away. That's fine if you want to make it a year from now. The game's been out for a year. If people don't want to have to play the game to unlock everything, and they just bought the game for their birthday or for whatever, and you want to spend an extra $20 and you can unlock all the weapons, so be it. But to do that right away, it's just stupid. But they're just exploiting something that they know is there, and it's a casual gamer that would gladly spend money to be able to get the best things right away.
So, Corey, do you think that the casual gamer gives this gives them an advantage in the game, but for hardcore players, it's something that they could exploit. Like they could find what works and exploit it. Leaving the casual gamers, even with that, even with the stuff that they brought, still out of like, you know, without no skill level, like just out like still feel like they're out of class.
Well, I don't know. It's hard because like you have things like matchmaking and now you have microtransactions like on like an even scale, like somebody you should be matched with people that you are of similar skill with, right? Like
Mhm.
that's something. And like What we're talking about with Battlefront 2 is a lot of people, when they get matchmaked with someone who's spent like 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks in loot boxes already has the advantage over someone who hasn't spent any money, because those cards are skill based. It doesn't matter if you're a hardcore gamer, a casual gamer, or someone that's like, that person who only buys 3 or 4 games a year but also plays the crap out of those 3 or 4 games a year, right? It doesn't matter what kind of gamer you are. On a just a baseline level, this tactic is just wrong, because people play games to have fun, and I've bought in loot boxes, I've bought in microtransactions in games that I really like before, right? Like Overwatch is a great example of how I think loot boxes are done right? You go in, you get a loot box every time you level up, right? The experience points that you like per level, like level off at level 20. So from level 20 to 21 is the same from level 50 to 51, right? And you still get a loot box. They double down on, we're going to try to not give you duplicates, right? You get some duplicates, but they take into account what you have and make sure that they run an algorithm on loot boxes that makes sure you don't get duplicates, right? So that's a good way to do it. Plus, if you buy like 5 loot boxes, you get 1 for free, or if you buy 10, you get 2 for free, and like, buy different tiers, you get ones for free, and like, they do have special loot boxes that you can only get during events and stuff, but at the same time, it's like people who are playing Overwatch every night or every day, if they spend like $5 or $10 every, couple weeks to say, oh, there's this cool like New Year's event. I want the Year of the Rooster cool outfits for my characters, or the Halloween event. Those costumes are really cool. Like, I want those. And you spend $5 or $10, you're probably not going to get a duplicate from these special boxes. EA is like on the other end of the spectrum, where like these are, and everything in Overwatch is cosmetic, right? It's either a voiceover for your character, a skin for your character, an intro to your character for a game, play of the game type situation, that kind of stuff. Titanfall also does an amazing job with their microtransactions, right? Everything is cosmetic.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the coolest way to do it. It doesn't affect gameplay. It makes your character look cool, and you can unlock it somewhere in the game if you put a ton of time into it. Like, that's how they should be, right? EA is doing this thing with Star Wars where like you actually buy star cards, which, apply different weapon sets to your special ability slots. And like, the more you buy, the more of these cards you're going to have. And that's a gameplay advantage. That is a distinct gameplay advantage. And like, Destiny is having that same problem, though, on a lesser scale, because like you can buy pieces of armor from Eververse. Now, they're all like, it's all one armor set, and it's all at level 10, and you have to infuse armor into it. But like, that's still like trotting the line of like, okay, you can buy gameplay advantages, It's just, man, there's just this like really fine line of like how to do it and how not to do it. And Overwatch and Titanfall are on the side of, this is how you do it. This is how you do great microtransactions. Destiny is on the fence, kind of teetering at questionable. And then EA has just like hurdled the fence and is running the complete other direction with Star Wars. And that's what I'm worried about with Anthem. And they do it with their sports games too, like the Ultimate Team stuff. I don't really know how Ultimate Team works, but I know people spend tons of money on Ultimate Team. So
it feels weird, and it's good that you brought up Destiny 2, because I kind of wrote a piece. I'll talk about that later, about Destiny 2. But I kind of feel like with Destiny 2 that even if you buy something to make your character better, there's something within the game that's better than what you brought, and so you just advance. Like if I spend $10 on an outfit, but I start doing some side quests and a little bit more grinding, and I find something better, then I personally wasted $10.
Oh,
And
yeah, I mean, I see.
I mean, and I don't know if that's the same thing that's going to apply to EA. Is that um, is it going to be a point where even though if you buy your way through the game to have the best gear, is there going to be something within the game that you don't have to buy that's going to be better than the gear that you bought or the loot box that you bought?
I don't know. I think like everything in the game in Star Wars, like the star cards, it's all like you can get all of that by playing, but like it's definitely an advantage if you can just buy it instead of leveling up, because like leveling up a character, like if it's anything like Overwatch, takes like 3 or 4 matches to get to the next level if you're playing decent, like, but if you have an extra $20 laying around and you just buy those loot boxes, that's like almost 100 matches you don't have to play that you can just get that stuff,
But it doesn't it feel weird? Like it feels like you're cheating yourself out of enjoyment.
Well, I mean that's the balance, right? Is like, how do you find that sweet spot of like they can play like 5 hours, but like if you just spend like $5 here, you can like kind of not waste your time grinding. And that's like the big thing in Shadow of War, right? Is like that last act is a real grind, and a lot of people stop playing there because they don't want to grind. But like if you have $10 lying around, you could get that orc, you could get that weapon set, you can get that stuff. And it's like, I can't really speak to Battlefront 2 yet because I have not played it, right? I don't know really how it works, and I've seen both sides argued, right? But like, yes, it's different for an RPG or an action RPG or something that has a single player component to it, right? Whereas Star Wars Battlefront 2, all the microtransactions only affect the multiplayer stuff. Like the campaign is untouched with these microtransactions. So like you can play through the whole campaign, have a good time, not spend a cent. Everything is competitive multiplayer focused, and like that's the problem with buying the gameplay microtransactions. Like it literally affects the gameplay. Like you literally have more items to use in multiplayer than the other guy who didn't spend any money, and that's the problem.
Well, I wonder how long people are even going to play Battlefront 2. Like,
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be that casual crowd that plays until the next one comes out, right? I mean, like I said earlier, there's only a small fraction of gamers who are actually really having this conversation that we're having, right? A lot of people just go in and see Star Wars on the box and buy it, and if mechanically it's fun to play, they're going to keep playing it until like, I don't know, PUBG comes out or the next Call of Duty or something else, game X that they're interested in. That's just how the casual gaming market works. But like, people like us who are like, okay, how long until this actually affects like what we know about EA and what they're doing with this game? How long until it actually affects our enjoyment of the game? Like, as soon as it affects my enjoyment of the game, like I already told you, I'm not buying Battlefront 2 because of this. Right, I'm going to redbox it, probably play through the campaign in 2 or 3 nights, and then take it back and never probably play it again. Right, which is sad because like I think the multiplayer is fun, but I don't want to play with a bunch of people who are spending $100 every 2 weeks to murder me. Right, I just don't.
Right, and to me it would be like, well, what if this game gets taken to esports and you can't use cosmic weapons? Like you have to use
it'll be esports.
I mean, but let's look at it from that viewpoint. If this game was used in an esport competition where you can't use cosmetic loot boxes and stuff, now does that affect your skill? And you have to use what's in game, because for a lot of people, if they're relying on a lot of that loot box stuff and they can't use it, that changes your whole strategy and your whole skill plan. So what happens then? Like, d- do you now does EA now force everybody uh who's playing that game in the esports on a certain on that at the same level, and now it's just you got to do your best because you don't have no safety net. No, there's nothing that you could do because stuff like that won't be allowed in the game.
or
That's
or
considered
if
cheating.
or if you apply this loot box method, like I doubt Battlefront 2 will go to esports, but if you apply this to Battlefield, which is big in esports,
Hmm.
and like these teams are training and doing whatever they do to be good at Battlefield, right? And like, what if like you use the items you have going in, and like, how does this affect? How does this? It's just this very fine line again of like, how do you get professional players to not be tempted by spending money to get the better items for the tournament that they're getting ready to enter? Like, how does that work? How does that work? I don't know. I don't know. Just this whole conversation of loot boxes just like really frustrates me, and it's just like I feel like we've been talking about it for like 6 months now.
Well, it's to me, it's not really about the loot box.
No,
I
no. I
mean,
mean,
that's part of it, but
it's more about the shadiness of
of
like
EHS itself.
yeah,
To
of like, here's this. Like I said, I don't have any problem with loot boxes if they're done correctly, right? I've bought stuff in
Mhm.
Gears of War, I've bought stuff in Halo, I've bought stuff in Overwatch, Destiny. I've bought so many loot box bright engrams. It's not even funny. Like I do enjoy a good loot box if I have the spare change and it's a game I'm really enjoying, because I want to support the game that I love, and if this loot box system is done right, I will do that. But like, it's just, man, the stuff that's come out about Shadow of War, and now EA's doing stuff to Battlefront and the future games, and it's just
it it feels like EA. It feels like EA is forcing gamers to lose what video games are about. For me
yeah.
personally,
Well,
and
for them, instead of like someone like, you look at Ninja Theory, who make games that are beautiful and they do it for the art of the game, because like
yes,
there's that thing that came out that said Ninja Theory was happy with the sales because they were more than expected and they broke even, but it was a
right,
passion project for them that they wanted to do, and like video games are art to them, whereas like EA and Activision, I mean, the developers might be proud of what they're working on. That's what their passion is. Making games is their passion. But the higher ups at EA are like, this is a business. We need to appease the shareholders. We need to appease, the people who need to make money off of this. Like, we need to squeeze every penny out of this possible. And that's where it gets like shady, to the point where like, how do we balance the art versus the business? How do we balance, how much we can get out of somebody versus just let them enjoy the game? And it's tough, but I mean, out of this type of thing, we get awesome indie games like SteamWorld Dig, like Shovel Knight, like
hmm
we get cool indie experiences where like they do it for the art. We get Cuphead, we get amazing games like that are spun off from this. We got Fulbright out of the BioShock situation. We got Yacht Club out of Way Forward, that was spun out of another bigger company. We've got these cool artistic and fun experiences that don't require you to buy loot boxes. I mean, look at Shovel Knight, man. $24.99 gets you 4 games, 4 distinct amazing games. Well,
right.
Plague Knight is good. It's not great. It's good. But Spectre of Torment was amazing, and Shovel Knight was amazing, and now King of Cards looks to be like another amazing game. And it's those games that we're gonna have to look to for our, where does the heart of the art go in gaming? And those are the games that we're gonna have to look at now. And like, for every Madden, for every FIFA, for every Battlefront, there's going to be 2 or 3 cool indie experiences that we get to have, or 2 or 3 first party AAA action adventure style games that we get to have that are awesome. Or, something I'm really looking forward to playing is Assassin's Creed Origins. No loot boxes. There are microtransactions, but they're cosmetic items, which is fine. Like I saw a couple costumes I would like to have, or like, spoilers, you can buy a unicorn and ride a unicorn through that game, which is pretty funny. But like, there's no multiplayer microtransactions. There's no gameplay affecting microtransactions. Wolfenstein, we're getting Wolfenstein, which is a cool game. We just got Doom on Switch, which is awesome. Like, we have those games outside. Like, it's time, if we want to support big budget games still, you look at Bethesda and look what they're doing and how they've changed from, kind of weird whatever studio to delivering us these art studios. You look at Nintendo, what they're doing. You look at you look at Ubisoft for, most of their games. Ubisoft probably does it the best in balancing the single player experiences with the big budget multiplayer microtransaction stuff. You have The Division, Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon over here, multiplayer focused, making them the money. Then you have Assassin's Creed, you have Rayman, you have Splinter Cell, hopefully again someday. Like, you have cool experiments like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Like, it's that they probably do it the best in balancing their portfolio, and that's cool. That's cool to see. And I'm really happy, like, because of the issues people have with Activision and EA, we get the Bethesdas and the Ubisofts and the indies and the Nintendos still holding down the fort in the games that, don't need to make $500 million every time they put out a game. So,
okay.
Sorry, I just kind of went on a rant. It was...
No, that's good. That's the conversation that we need to have, because it feels like with EA, like, just like, for some reason out the blue, for me personally, they kind of they're just destroying themselves. And that's sad when a company is destroying themselves. And not thinking, and using games as a business is fine. But not making people feel like their games are relatable to the player, that's a problem. I think that's why people who know that I'm a big Nintendo fan, I'm a Nintendo nut, because there's something about a Nintendo game that I literally enjoy, and I feel relatable to this. I love the kookiness, I love the art style, I love the challenge and innovations, and sometimes them just changing the game industry and doing weird stuff. I love that they do that, and Nintendo gets rewarded for that because I purchased the game. And a lot of companies, definitely like for EA, don't see it that way. They think that you're supposed to purchase their game and buy their microtransactions to enjoy the full experience. And like you mentioned, Corey, getting that kind of support. And I don't want to give EA that kind of support, personally, for me. And I love Titanfall 2 for what it did. It really is good. But I feel like EA is going to change that whole design of Respawn with Titanfall 3. And I fear that.
That's my fear too, is like, if they want to implement us, like, now that they own Respawn, they can say what systems go in the game and what systems don't. And like, changing the system from cosmetic to the Battlefront thing, that's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. And then that's when you're going to see Respawn close their doors because of some stupid decision that EA wanted to make because of money. Respawn's a fantastic studio. They've put out 2 fantastic games. You look at their prior work, like Modern Warfare changed the industry. It changed first-person shooters forever. And like, you have that team create a new studio and create an amazing first-person shooter experience with a cool new twist. Like, that's awesome. And I'm really afraid EA is going to ruin it by saying, hey, you can buy these, flare guns to add onto your Titan, for like, they're in these loot boxes. You can buy 5 of them for $5. It's dirty, is what it is, and it's just like it's scary, man. But like I said, there's plenty of other experiences for us to have, to send them a message. There's plenty of other games to buy that aren't EA games to send them a message. And the hardcore community is not big enough to send that message in a powerful way, but incrementally we can start sending it.
I think once EA starts pushing the hardcore to other places instead of to their platform, that I think they're going to have to realize, okay, we need to change our business perspective, or we're going to go out of business complete. Because
I don't think EA is going to ever completely go out of business, but I do think like they're going to hit a point where they are going to realize that they need to change their business model, because like maybe it's not next year, maybe it's not 2 years from now, but like maybe 5 years from now, when people start really realizing, what they're doing in their games, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, they're going to have to change their perspective. And like, it sucks that it's going to have to come to that, but like if people start realizing incrementally, that message will be sent eventually.
It's gonna be on mediocre reviews and bad sales.
It's gonna be kind of like Activision right now. Like Activision is actually listening to people a little bit more and trying to give them what they want, because this just making whatever they felt like and not ignoring what the people are asking for wasn't doing very well for them. And actually, with the talking about microtransactions, that was a nail in the coffin for me, for the Call of Duty franchise. I think it was Black Ops 3, when they started coming out with new weapons. They made them where the only way you could get those new weapons were in the
season pass
loot crates. No, they were in the loot crates. So even if you had a season pass, you didn't get those new weapons. The only way you could get them is by getting loot crates. And so people that would want to spend money could possibly get those before anyone else. And because I played the game so much, and I only unlocked, I think, maybe 1 or 2 of the new weapons out of the like 8 or whatever that they came out with. And I had played it so much, I had actually even spent some money on buying loot crates things to get them, and I still didn't unlock any of the new weapons. It was the biggest piece of game I had ever played. Like, why would you do that? Why would you make it almost impossible to get the new guns and force people to have to spend money? And even if you spend money, you're not even guaranteed that you're going to get them.
And the sad thing about it
was ridiculous.
And the sad thing about it is, who's even playing that game now?
Yeah. Well, there's still people playing it, because a lot of people do still say, oh, Black Ops 3 is the last good, Call of Duty game, and blah, 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 because, there wasn't any until now boots on the ground type games or whatever. But still, it just... That was like the worst thing I've ever seen done with loot crate type situations where you have to buy stuff, because it's always been when you buy a season pass, the new guns would come out, and everyone who bought a season pass would have them, available. That was something that they had always done it, but to make it literally where you have to spend like lots of money on buying crates to try to get them, and then, like I said, you're not even guaranteed that you're ever going to see any of them.
Yes.
Is ridiculous. I was so mad. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like it like wrecked the game for me.
Well, everybody, that's going to do it for our discussion. What do you think what is going wrong, or like I said, what the hot hell is going on with EA? Like, let us actually know. You can email the show at my ex at arsenalx@gmail.com. gonna post a question also on Facebook at Arsenal X Facebook page. So come join us on there in the conversation, and let's see. I want to hear what you guys think. But we're gonna do some quick plugs. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @sub_humanist.
Okay. And Corey, where can we find you at?
You can find me in Corey and UHD on Twitter, Corey and HD on Instagram and Twitch. You can find me on NGR Radio, Proper, Nintendo Power Block, and various other places on the NGR Radio network of shows. I will be guesting on Nerds Gone Platinum this week, so check that out. When this episode releases tomorrow, check it out tomorrow. And yeah, I'm writing a lot more, so.
Yes.
Check out ngrradio.com. I'll be writing some stuff coming up, so pretty excited.
Yes, and you guys can follow me on Twitter at @RetroCode. You can check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and other podcast apps. Check out my new writing that I put. Should the Destiny series come to an end, really do give that a read, and just hear me out what I had to say first before you guys comment.
Before we get out of here, did you see that? What's his name? Jason Jones, the head of Bungie, is already planning their project after Destiny's over.
Oh goodness, I fear what it is.
They're already planning their next project, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be with Activision. I'll just put it that way. So,
oh wow!
But does
Activision? But Activision doesn't own Bungie, right?
No, they're just publishing Destiny.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh brother, yeah.
I would like to see Bungie return to like a proper kind of like. I mean, I know they want to do the thing where they're like making all the money and stuff, but I would like to see them like maybe downsize a little bit and have a more focused project and actually like know what they're doing.
I want Bungie to make a new game in a different genre, like.
Oh, you mean like Oni? Because that turned out real well.
It was something different. I'm sorry, because Bungie is just making garbage now. I love Destiny 2. It was better than Destiny 1, but I'm just like, you guys don't have the spirit in you.
Some people are going to disagree with you about that.
I mean, and that's fine. They could disagree with me. Yeah, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later.
But. Do guys check out this Friday's Optional Opinion, where it's going to be about Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. Check out that episode, and check out next week's episode. Also, hopefully when it's recorded, I have a special guest. Jesse, I do apologize. Want to stay online. I forgot to record with you. I was with a friend. So we'll do the Spirit Away Part 2 later on.
Yeah, no, that's fine because I've been busy on Saturdays and stuff lately, so.
Okay. But thank you, everybody. Join us on Arsenal X Facebook page. Oh, and also check out Arsenal X on your Xbox Live. We want to play with you guys in the community stuff. So go ahead and join us there on Xbox One. With that, everybody, we are out, and we'll see you next time on Arsenal X. Yes. Bye.